All right, so everything I read in May of 2024. So I read How to End a Love Story by Yulin Quang. King. I'm sorry. I gave this 3 stars. I feel like the characters, they really got into each other very quickly, and I like a slow burn. And that's kind of what I was anticipating when I read like the plot of it, and they were just like, "I love you," and I'm like, okay. But you know, it's an option. Then I read All the Missing Girls by Megan Miranda. 5 stars. Megan Miranda, you did it again. Her writing, I don't know. She just really grabbed hold of me this year. And this story was like told in reverse, so it kind of like has you guessing and like wondering what's going on. And I think I need to reread it. Then I read the final Brown sister book. I read Act Your Age, Eve Brown by Talia Hibbert. This is 5 stars. This is my favorite Brown sister book, and maybe it's because the first time I read these, I read this one first, but I don't know. After rereading the series, she's just like the best sister. Sorry. And I really like the plot of this one more than the plot of the other two. Then I read The House in the Cerulean Sea by T.J. Klune. I would give this book 4 stars. It's a very whimsical read, but it has a lot of heartfelt emotions. Very interesting type of plot, but it was a good one. Then I read Just for the Summer by Abby Jimenez, and her other books have usually been a 4 for me, but this one was a 5. I loved it. It made me emotional. Had tears in my eyes. And usually that doesn't really happen to me reading a whole lot, but I found this book very, very cute, so I would recommend this one. And maybe the reason I had tears in my eyes is because of something going on in my personal life. So the next book I read is A Sure Tale Sign, and also Now You Know. The next book I read was 102 Things to Do Before You're Due, by Dawn Days. I am pregnant. Filming this in August. I'm currently 8 months pregnant. So yeah, I read this book in May, back when I kind of found out I found out in March I was pregnant, but didn't really start believing till April. But yeah, baby's due in October, so you're gonna see some pregnancy books throughout this video, because I'm counting those. Those count towards my goal. Then I read The 7-Year Slip. I've read this before, so this was my first reread. Still 5 stars. This story is just this is my favorite Ashley Poston story, for sure. Then I read The Anthropocene Reviewed by John Green. I gave this book 4 stars. Overall, this book is like about reviewing random things, and I love reviews, obviously, and I love reading reviews, so you know, that's a fun one. Then I read You May Now Kill the Bride by Kate Weston. Obviously the title is what intrigued me. Elements I liked, elements I didn't like, so it was kind of like a 3.5 to 4 stars for me on that one. Ed, A Love Song for Ricky Wilde, by Tia Williams. Tia Williams, 7 Days in June. That was my story. I was like, I'm into it. So I was like, I gotta read Love Song for Ricky Wilde. I gave this book 4 stars. It's not on the same vein for me as 7 Days in June, but it's a very like magical, fun, beautiful story. So it's a good one. Then I read The Wake Up Call by Beth O'Leary, which I gave 4 stars, and all I put was cute little read. So cute little. Then I read Love, Lies, and Cherry Pie by Jackie Lau. With that title, I was like, I'm ready to be whisked away into like a bakery type cute little story. You know, it was 3 stars. It was just kind of a little plain for me. Not enough in it to make me love it too much. Then I read Rabbit Hole by Kate Brody. 2 stars. It was rough. The character was a mess. The story, I was like, what's going on? This was a book club pick. So, you know, I didn't choose to read it. I mean, I did choose to read it, but, you know. Then I read The Paradise Problem by Christina Lauren. I would give this 4 stars. It was kind of like fake dating type story. And she gets to go to like a private island and get paid. And I would do it too. And it was a fun little read. Then I read Meet Me at the Lake by Carly Fortune. This was my first reread of this book and very cute. I can't remember what I don't have a rating on here for whatever reason, but 4 stars sounds about right for me. Then I read The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I gave this 4 stars and I said, a cutie, easy read. So that's what you're getting from me. My reviews are very short and sweet sometimes. Then I read Mr. Magic by Kiersten White. I read her book Hide a couple years ago or last year. I can't remember when I read these books. But I saw this and I read the plot and I was like, that sounds interesting. And she just writes so well and there's always so much in it. You're just kind of like, what's going on? This book is definitely enjoyable. I would definitely recommend reading this one. Then I read This Summer Will Be Different by Carly Fortune. And I gave this book 4 stars. The friendships in this book, the best part. It's just elite. And I think that came out this year, I believe. So, new read, but it was good. And then I read My Favorite Half Night Stand by Christina Lauren. 3 stars. This is probably my least favorite Christina Lauren book I've ever read. The main character was kind of lying to her like partner throughout the book, so, and she's just not communicating her feelings. Like, we're adults, let's communicate. So that's everything I read in